Guys, Trump got indicted this week. What do you guys think about that? I was shocked.
Were you shocked though? Like, it's kind of been coming for a while. I feel like they've been talking about this for way too long.
No, but he actually got arrested. Like, I was at the gym and I saw like OJ Simpson type like police cars just like on the highway, like escorting him to his like. Wait,
you saw it
on TV?
Oh, okay. I was like, what the fuck?
No,
Bro,
you said you were at
like
the gym.
First I was at the gym.
Report, like,
I said I was at
saw
the
it in the
gym.
street, man. I remember like it was yesterday. Like,
If anything, I would be the one to see it because I'm the
yeah, he's right there.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that was wild. I actually could not believe it that he actually like criminal charges. It wasn't just like him getting subpoenaed or something like that.
Yeah, I mean the charge is
it's a little shaky. I don't know. It's a little odd
honestly,
timing as well.
I thought I wasn't expecting this to be the charge. That if
What
they
was
got
the
him for
charge
anything, it
again?
would be that. It was for falsified
business records. He has
falsified
34
business
felony
records.
charges on that, and then there's also like I think there's like behind the fact that he was like giving like hush money to Stormy Daniels.
Yeah.
Stormy
He's having an affair with her, and then now like she brought that out, and now they're just accumulating all the charges at once, and then just like barbating him with all these charges.
Is giving hush money to someone like actually a crime though? Because
it wasn't just hush money. There was another thing added on to it. I think it had to do with
because hush money is not a crime. That's like settlement. That's like a settlement.
Yeah, hush money would only be a crime, I assume, if it was actually for a trial. Like if someone paid you not to say something in a trial. But I don't think that was ever
Speaking
happened.
of Stormy Daniels, how do you think Melania felt? Like when I first came out, like during the 2015 or 2016 election, I was like, how does she feel about that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, because I remember Michael Cohen, right? Like the former lawyer. He was on an interview and he was talking about how like him and Melania would always talk, and Melania was always like, yo, he's cheating on me. Like, I know, but I don't want to say anything to ruin his political career and all this type of stuff. So like, imagine always being cheated on, but like you cannot say anything about it. Like you're always boxed into a hole.
I mean, it was really strong on her part to actually like put it aside for the betterment of his political career, which is absolutely insane. Like, I'm surprised that someone's actually willing to do that much for someone else who's actually like cheating on you, but I don't know. That's crazy. Actually, I never thought about that. I feel like with celebrities, it's just become so normal to like regular people to hear, oh, this celebrity cheated on this person now.
How did Trump actually get under the radar of the government that made him get indicted? Wasn't there something else with what's that guy's name? Cohen?
Jared Kushner? Oh, Michael Cohen?
No, dude.
Michael Cohen's his fixer.
Yeah.
Michael Cohen's his fixer. He called him his fixer, yeah.
All right. And so how was he involved?
Michael Cohen. No. I just use him as an example because before Michael Cohen did end up going to prison because as fixing Donald Trump's problems, he was involved in the criminal activity. So he ended up, this was a while ago, 3-4 years ago, he got, or two, I don't know, it was like a while ago, but like he got in prison for I think 6 to 8 months or like 2 years or something. And after that, he went off like on Trump. Like he became his complete like op essentially. Like in Congress, he was like ratting out Trump. Then he's on podcasts now. He wrote his own book. Like bro's like going all out against Trump, just monetizing the fuck out of him.
Wait, but wasn't he the one who paid Stormy Daniels the hush money?
Using Trump's money though. It was Trump's money.
It was Trump's money.
Because Cohen was fixing
Trump's money.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
I mean, he just got it back from Trump, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I think it's important if we're actually no, never mind. You can go. Yeah.
No. I was just gonna say, like, bro is like 82. He has Mar-a-Lago in Florida. Bro, just golf every day and chill the fuck out. Like, why are you adding all this stress to your life, bro?
It's not just him. I feel like just in general in politics, like, the next election is the first one we get a vote in. Speaking for myself, I don't want to have to be voting for which 80-year-old we're putting into office.
Yeah, bro.
Dude,
seriously.
I think it's just the entire political system. Like, the issue is no one wants to vote for that middle candidate because that middle candidate's not going to win. But I know that most people would agree with that middle candidate more. It's just that we have this like mentality that, we got to go to one of these extremes. But most of us are not on the extreme side of either of these. Like, I don't want an 80-year-old in office.
Yeah. And the parties shouldn't even be extremes. The parties are not extremist, but they've become so polarized that they've now become extremist. So now if you're a Democrat, you have to be 100% liberal. You can't have any Republican views. Before, what it used to be was that you would elect a Republican based on the Republican Party. So the election part of it might have been somewhat polarized like that. But once you're in office, you go back to reality, and you see that, okay, I'm going to have some liberal policy, some conservative. You see that there is some mix and matching, because no one can be 100% policy of that. But now that's not the way it is now. And people used to be understanding of that. They used to think, okay, that's fine. That's fine. Now, if they vote you in because your beliefs are 100% one side, you have to behave exactly that way in office.
And it's
like
also
now
because-
everything is so split. It's insane. Like there's no middle ground at all. So no one can actually be moderate.
And I like that you brought that up, because the reason is like, then nothing gets done in office, because like there's no bipartisan support for anything, and because of that, no laws actually get passed. There's certain laws that have been in Congress for the last 50 years that are still not passed. Like, it's crazy how unproductive our government is, and it's just going to lead to everyone just raising the debt ceiling, and we're in already $31 trillion in debt.
Yep.
And we're gonna get fucking taken over financially by China, because they literally have invested so much money into America that they're gonna start buying a lot of the land, and all these investors are gonna start taking over America essentially. It's all due to our incompetent.
What's crazy is that the one thing that got bipartisan support recently, overwhelming bipartisan support, was the TikTok ban. The one thing
that is actually insane.
One of the few things that's getting bipartisan support is banning TikTok, which makes sense in the fact that okay, our US government doesn't want to allow Chinese government to take over or allow Chinese government to get information on our citizens. But at the same time, there's so many other things that we could agree on that we just decide not to. And then no one wants to do anything about it. And it creates this huge issue.
It's a lot easier to get support behind a common enemy with a face. They can very easily paint China as an enemy, and then that way it's a lot easier to get support behind it. With actual other issues that are being stuck in Congress trying to get passed through, it's harder to get that support because there's not a common enemy or something to rally everyone behind.
Well, I mean, I guess the common enemy for them is just each other, to be honest. It's just Republicans versus Democrats.
Yeah.
And so then it more so just becomes of just proving each other wrong than rather what's better for the country.
Yep.
And and you just see them becoming shady individuals. Like what happened in Tennessee this week? They expelled 2 Democratic representatives in their legislative household.
Really?
It was okay.
What for?
Here, I'm gonna read it right now. Yeah, so most expulsions involve criminal or
that makes sense.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But this was not the case. There was 3 people that were put up for expulsion, 2 black men and 1 white woman. The 2 black men got expelled from the Tennessee legislative. I'm not sure if it was the I think it was just the regular Tennessee legislative body, but the
assembly,
The assembly, yeah. The reason they said, honestly, I'm looking at it right now, but I don't see a proper reason as to why they're doing that. I'm pretty sure those 2 men were fighting for a particular cause in which the Republican legislative, part of the legislative body, did not agree with. And these 2 black men were very they were very vocal about this topic. And I'm pretty sure it might have been gun control, but I may be wrong. They're very vocal about this topic. And instead of working out the issues, they voted to expel them. And they both got expelled this week. I think pretty sure 1 or 2 days ago.
Wow. Damn. I did not hear about that.
Yeah.
Bro, this is just another sign of what George Washington said back in the day, about the reason he didn't like parties. What you laughing at, Ari? What you laughing at?
Nothing, man. Just go.
All right, bro. So basically, I remember shout out A Push, but he was basically I don't want parties because
what a buzzkill, am I right?
I knew you were gonna say that, because it's gonna lead to division in the future, and this is the height of our division. It's the height of our the peak of our division, and I don't think it's gonna reside anytime soon.
I don't think parties is a bad thing. I just don't think that you should be so adherent to one party, because I think it's fine to be a part of a group that shares your common beliefs. I think that's normal to want to go with people who share your beliefs, but I don't think that you should feel obligated to vote for someone in your party, because you should be voting on the person. If a person does not rub you the right way, you don't agree with everything they're saying, you shouldn't feel the need to vote for them just because they belong to your party,
I completely
Yeah.
agree. I think it's the fact that, I mean, parties are inherently something you need because you can't like having an open system causes a very weird, it doesn't give people a easy system in voting because then you got to understand every single policy of every single person who's running for an office, and it's just too much to handle in terms of like knowledge. Like an average citizen doesn't have the time to go through and look at every person's policy. That's the point of parties, is to give you a broader sense. However, the issue with parties that like we've had in modern day is that like it's a one size fits all type of thing, and people aren't actually going outside of what they fit in with the party, and they want to actually, people aren't making decisions for themselves. They're kind of just going along with what people around them say instead.
Yeah.
That's well said.
And while we're on the Trump topic, I think it's important we also make it known that there is still going to be a trial, right? Nothing is 100% like done yet, you know. So I think it's important to realize like we can't fully assign blame until he's actually proven guilty. And also, I think it's important to consider the other sides, since I don't like the idea of always just presenting one side of like a political argument. You have to like hear both things. There is a decent chance. So Trump's view is that they're doing this right now to harm his candidacy for the next election, which the timing, I mean, you can't blame him for thinking that. It's not unreasonable to think of. You just saw what Rishi was talking about with Tennessee. People that disagreed with them, so they got them expelled. It's not the craziest idea. I'm not saying it's the reason, but it could be the reason for the timing. You know,
It most likely could be the case here.
Yeah, because think about it. They've known this stuff for a long time. Why did they wait till now? Or did they just maybe acquire evidence now? Maybe that's the reason. We don't know yet.
Maybe that's the reason.
But he's saying
evidence.
that, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So
They've had
it, even if he's proven not guilty, he can run in the next election. He's still eligible. This won't harm that. But think about it. No one's going to vote for him if they know that he just was indicted. You know, there's going to be a lot less people voting for him. And also it'll increase the chances of Ron DeSantis getting the ballot instead of him. And think about it. Honestly, I'm not too sure right now with how the economy is doing and how people have been reacting to Biden's term as president. I think the Democratic Party might have been kind of scared that if Trump runs, he would beat him because, frankly, everything going on right now, people are not happy. So I wouldn't be surprised if it is possible that the fear of the next election might be the reason for the timing of the trial.
You said that, yeah, you said a lot of people would be more likely to not vote for him because of indictment. I honestly don't think their opinions would change. I think like even as a Democrat myself, I want to get the Biden administration out of the White House. I don't trust them with the safety of our country. I don't trust them with how they're handling our economy. And everyone, though, like, because everyone hates Trump because of how vocal he is and the way like that his followers act. But everyone forgets all the things that he's done for our country as well, especially for our economy, especially for the middle class, which we all are. Right, he's done a lot of good things for our country and our economy, and our economy could use a lot of help right now. And if it were between Trump and Biden, because Biden is most likely probably the best candidate to go head to head with Trump from the Democratic side, I'm still voting for Trump.
I don't think Biden would win. So I'm not like putting my political views aside. I don't really follow any party. I'm independent. I agree because I don't like the idea of just voting for someone because of their party. I think you have to look at the person, look at the candidate, see what their views are, see what I think about that, you know. But yeah, I just don't right now. If they ran before this all happened, I first of all, we don't even know if Trump would get the Republican vote. I'm still believing no matter what happens, Ron DeSantis will probably get the Republican vote. But if Trump did get it and it was Trump Biden, I would expect Trump to probably have an edge just because of how bad everything is right now with the economy. I think he would get a lot of the swing people, the people who are like undecided or undiehard Democrat or Republican.
I think the thing that we got to realize is like one president isn't going to change everything. Like one president is going to change like the debt ceiling or like the trillions of dollars. One law, they're not going to pass every single law to fix society. So at the end of the day, like Ari was saying, it doesn't matter what party you're in. You have to be able to like change the system, which is having like a system in place where you're looking at the person objectively, right? And in terms of like the merits behind it. And having that succession over 4, 8, 12, 16 years where you have multiple presidents who are competent and over a period of time, like they're working towards a goal, right? Like maybe the first 8 years of a president's like term, that person is reducing the debt ceiling by like 50% or 25% or 20, whatever it might be. But then the next president builds off of that. And then the president, like all these things, it's like a succession plan that people have to build off of. Because essentially what happens now, because everyone's so polarized, is let's say a Democrat is in office, then a Republican comes in, they're going to reverse everything that the Democrats did. So all it is it's like a flip-flop kind of thing. And we're just stagnant in one spot. We're not really improving as a country, which I think
that's a really
part.
good point. I think that's an unexpected like side effect of the extreme polarization of the parties, because now I think what we might end up seeing is we're just going to keep seeing it swing back and forth, which shouldn't be a problem. Like having a different party in office each new term shouldn't be necessarily a big deal, but with how polarized they are, because they're going to have such different ideologies now more than ever, they're going to try to undo everything the previous one did. And because I feel like now it's going to become a thing where each new term we're voting for the president who we don't want to go in. That's pretty much what it's going to be. We don't want this guy, so we're going to bring this guy. We don't want this guy now. He did bad, so we're going to bring this new guy in. So that new guy is going to want to undo everything because that's the only reason he was elected. So to make his voters happy, he's going to try to undo it. Then a whole new group of people, again, is upset at what they did, and they'll try to replace them. So honestly, that's a really good point. I think that could be like an unexpected side effect that we're going to see. Just keep seeing the parties like swing back and forth, trying to undo each other.
Yeah, that was like a big thing that I remember we had a JSA debate back in high school. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember JSA. Prem definitely remembers where she. I think you vote. I think you voted
JSA was the best club I was a part of in high school.
You were in JSA?
Yeah, bro.
Since you come to the meeting.
Oh, were you actually in it freshman year?
Yeah, remember? I came freshman year, bro.
Oh, freshman year, you were there. Yeah.
And then I also came during COVID when we had those amazing debates.
COVID. I mean, okay. Ari was in JSA. Ari, you were in JSA with me freshman year and sophomore.
And
year,
sophomore,
right?
I was debate moderator, man.
Yeah.
Oh
okay,
yeah, you were bored.
I mean, it kind of fell apart, but I remember we talked about that a lot. We talked about this. Yeah, I remember we talked about it a lot though. We had like a whole thing where we talked about why we believe that America won't move forward as a country solely because of the fact that polarization is just going to cause us to kind of become stagnant because we just flip flop back and forth between different presidents.
Remember that one
aren't
kid?
actually getting anything done.
Remember that one kid in JSA who was like super like right, and he was like talking about like, oh, I'm gonna shoot you or something.
What?
You don't remember?
What are you saying? I'm pretty sure.
I think I know who you're talking about, but that wasn't.
It wasn't that.
Are you talking about Are you talking about in freshman year when Mr. G was there? The guy who said like, "If I ejaculate" or something like that.
Maybe he said some weird ass shit.
What are you talking about?
He didn't say I'm gonna shoot you.
He did not.
I mean, maybe that's how he's shooting you, man. I don't know.
I mean, if he's hitting you with some other fluids.
Damn, bro.
Yeah. I don't know. I think at the end of the day, there is a large divide, large polarization, and only thing that's kind of going to fix that is if we find a common goal to work towards too. And I don't know when we're gonna see that, or if we're ever gonna see that in the near future. But I hope we do. But yeah, I think our generation is starting to see a common goal towards like climate change. I see people. Wait,
climate change is real? No way, bro.
Yeah, which is
wild.
With the irony, and that kind of shows you like I think that people from our generation, regardless of what party, do believe that like climate change is an issue. Like, you know, even Republicans of our age, Democrats of our age, still believe that that's something that we should work towards. I mean, other than Prem, I guess Prem.
No, I actually agree. The two guys who got expelled from the Tennessee Legislative House, those are two of the youngest representatives of the Tennessee Legislative House, and those were the two. So what happened was they were with the people in a peaceful protest, in which the other older representatives did not agree with and did not like. So they expelled them for protesting a good cause, because after it was for school shootings, right? They wanted to, express their topics. They wanted to express their concern on gun control, and they wanted to make it like clear that, it's a big problem. And if the young people start speaking out, they thought that maybe the older people would listen. But the opposite happened. They got expelled, and now their voice is now probably gone out of that household. And after some time, I would like to see more people from our generation get inside the House of Representatives, get inside the Senate, and have more like voice and say in the opinions of our and like in the decisions of our government. Sorry, and I think once we reach a point where we reach all these we get rid of all these outdated and old people out of our House and Senate, will be the day that the parties will work towards the common goal. But will that happen in the next 10 years?
That will fix that. I don't think even that will fix
I genuinely think it will. I genuinely think it will because the people who are old don't understand the current situation of the world. That's why when they want
a lot of young people also don't understand the current understanding of the world. And that again, like regardless of party, there's still going to be that polarization because now some takes become so extreme. They keep trying to see like how far things can go, and I don't know. I don't think the younger generation, like once our generation gets into power, which also won't be for a long time. We're 18, so we're not going to see anyone get in. But I'm talking just in general, younger people, not people who are in their 80s. Just if they're in their like 40s, 50s, 50s, 30s, like even that, like 30s to 50s should be the age I kind of want to see there.
You know what? There should be an age limit for running.
Can't really do that.
You can't do that. You can't legally do that
because it's not like every old person is ignorant to things. Like that's then saying that's like limiting their freedom.
It's like ageism
because of your age.
Also, literally, you can't do that in a regular company. You shouldn't be able to do that.
You can't do that.
Yeah. Another thing I do think is this is a product of politics in general, of the way that like I guess humans psychologically are like made, but the people getting into politics inherently are going to be people who are more extremist. Because the people who are more like centralized in their beliefs
don't care that much.
It's not even that they don't care. They don't have this drive to like change something. Because
that's true. That's a good point.
Oh, I think that's a great policy. But if I have a very centrist view on this, it's not like, oh, I really want this different idea or this different idea to be in government. And that causes the people to get really involved, the people who really want to be there, to end up somewhat being on more of the extreme ends. I don't think it's like it completely divides us, but I think it's just a product of like who we are, and the people who want to like see change are generally people who are much further down in the extremist views. And I think that causes there to be this like really high tension at these like governmental levels where some people want this one crazy thing and other people want this other crazy thing. But I think the majority of America is a lot closer in views than we think. It's not actually as divided between individual people. It's a lot more divided at those higher levels of government and in politics in general.